All the arrays we have declared so far have been one-dimensional, meaning they had only one set of values. But we can also declare multi-dimensional arrays. For example, we can represent a matrix using a two-dimensional array. Here's an example. Let's imagine we want to represent a 2 by 3 matrix, so 2 rows and 3 columns. So we can declare an array called matrix with 2 dimensions, 2 and 3. Now, just like one-dimensional arrays, we can initialize this using a brace initializer. Now, in each row, we have 3 columns, so we need 3 values. Now, for each row, we need a separate pair of braces. Now, I'm going to put this on a new line so we can see things clearly. Now, in the first row, I'm going to type values 11, 12, and 13. And in the second row, I'm going to provide the values 21, 22, and 23. Just arbitrary values, okay? So here we have a 2 by 3 matrix or a two-dimensional array. Now, to loop over this array, we need 2 loops. The outer loop is going to be used for the rows. The inner loop is going to be used for the columns. So we can say for integer row, we set it to 0. While is less than 2, then we're going to do row plus plus. I told you that we shouldn't use magic numbers. So let's extract this number and store it in a constant integer called rows. Now we can use it right here and here as well. Now we can do the same with columns. So constant integer columns, we set it to 3 and use it right here. Okay. So we have a matrix. Now this is our outer loop. Now here we need an inner loop. So for int call, we set it to 0 while it's less than columns. Then we do call plus plus. And over here, to access individual elements, we need 2 indexes. So matrix of row and column. This is how we can access individual elements in a multi-dimensional array. Now here we have a 2-dimensional array, but technically there are no limitations in terms of the number of dimensions. But anything beyond 3 dimensions is really impractical, okay? So now let's print all these numbers on the terminal. Okay, good. Now, what if you want to pass this array as a parameter to a function? So let's define a function called print matrix that takes a 2-dimensional array. So int matrix of, again, we need the dimensions here. So I'm going to grab the number of rows and columns and move them outside of the main function. So now they are global constants, okay? So we're going to use them one more time. This is our matrix. Now, let's move our for loop inside this new function. Okay. And finally, let's call this and make sure everything works. So we call print matrix and pass our matrix. So we just need to pass our array. We don't need a separate parameter for the size of the array, okay? Or for the size of each dimension. Let's run the program and make sure everything works. There you go. So this is how we can declare and initialize multidimensional arrays.